Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Conversations with the Soul. I'm Rita Hickman, and I'm a body-mind expert and shiatsu massage therapist here in Northern Illinois. And I specialize in helping women especially deal with the triggers and the overwhelm and the stress that life has brought them in kind of the crazy world that we live in. And I use body-mind tools and practical ways to look at metaphysics and practical ways to look at energy work and body work and take it out of the mystical and out of the, ephemeral and into something that you can actually do something about it. Good morning, Tamara. How nice to see you. And good morning, Jennifer. Nice to see you, too. So this week we're talking about the chakras, and the chakras from a typical point of view are these spinning wheels of light that are in our energy field. Now, I like to take it out of that interpretation, good morning, Crystal, and look at it from a body-mind perspective. Look at it from actually your physical self, something you can do in this physical world. I remember once when I first started my practice, and I was into Native American cultural medicines and things like that. I wasn't a lot into metaphysics, and I was working out of a healing center, a metaphysical healing center. Good morning, Carol, out of Fox River Grove, called. I actually don't remember what it's called anymore. But I remember them talking about cleaning up the chakras, and there was one man there that could see chakras. And to him, there was this conversation, do they work clockwise? Do they go counterclockwise? It ended up into this crazy, mind-blowing, way up here sort of conversation. Good morning, Ro. Nice to see you. And it seemed too heady, too esoteric for somebody who loves to be in the body. And so I started to look at all these metaphysical things like chakras and bring them into something that's down into the physical world a little bit more, something we feel we actually have some control over. Good morning, Kathy. Nice to see you. And so chakras from a body-mind point of view are actually bundles of nerve endings and blood vessels and lymph systems and bundles of these things, of these physical things that we associate, good morning, Nasreem, that we associate with different thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, ideas, experiences, and physical sensations. So chakras have a lot to do with sensuality. Good morning, Karen. Nice to see you. So today we're going to work on two of my favorite sensual chakras, which are the root chakra and then the one right up above your sacral chakra. So having to do with feeling grounded and feeling sexual. So because of my background, I have been very focused and interested in learning how our sexuality and our sensuality works. It's always been a big deal for me to try to, how does this work? Because I always felt very blocked. I had a lot of experiences and beliefs and ideas around it that kept me from really reconnecting with those sorts of things. And so I hid from feeling my root and my sacral chakras. I hid in my heart, so I'd put all my focus in my heart and everything that I was feeling and all of my emotions. Some people hide from that stuff by going into their head. And that's when chakras become, esoteric and metaphysical and mysterious and, something that that's unattainable. Good morning, Dan. Nice to see you. So we want to take some of the fear out of experiencing parts of our bodies that maybe we've cut off. So that's why we're working on the root and the sacral chakra. So if you don't already know, the root is how you feel grounded, and the sacral is the source of, let's say, your creativity, your, that passion, that spark, that chemistry. And in fact, in my sacral area, I tended to feel very, I always had a lot of indigestion, because that's where that's where your small intestines are too, and your large intestines and your whole digestive, it's hanging out around there, not just, all those parts and pieces that feel good, but also that whole digestive thing. And so for me, I knew I had problems because I was always uncomfortable. I always had all of these digestive problems. And that's something that can really block enjoying enjoying those chakras, that we've cut off. So let's start with the root chakra. Think of the root chakra as if you're sitting on the ground and your tailbone is touching the ground. Now your tailbone and the bottom of your nervous system has, the bottom of your spinal cord has so many amazing nerve endings. Have you ever had somebody gently take their hand and just touch, like the base of your spine, touch, that area? Do you know how good that feels when you're not freaked out, when it's not some, creepy person or you're not distracted by something? There's so many nerve endings that are right there. And even just gently resting a hand there or wearing a lovely soft robe that brushes up against, the kind of the base of your spine and your tailbone, it feels really good. That's actually one of my favorite ways to get grounded. Is I've got this lovely robe that my husband gave me for Christmas last year. And it's one of the softest things I've ever found. And I love to wear that robe because then when I sit in it, I can feel it rubbing up against my tailbone. That is a wonderful way to reconnect to that chakra. You don't have to do it by, doing crazy visualizations, although we did do some yesterday. You can do it by actually connecting with that part of your body. And you can do it by using soft textures or warmth. Why else do you think bidets are so popular? Because they stimulate that part of our body. And it gives us a sense of connectedness. It gives us a sense of not feeling so alone. Because when the base of our chakra, when that grounded spot gets stimulated by something that feels good, then we feel more alive, we feel more secure, and we feel grounded. So a lot of times, finding something comfortable to sit on is a way to connect with that chakra. Finding something that feels good. We sit all the time. We sit almost all day working on computers and talking to people and working at desks. And that part of our body gets squashed and gets cut off. And because it's uncomfortable, we hide in our head, or we hide in our heart, or we hide in, our throat chakra conversation. These are places that we hide because our groundedness, that part of our body, feels so, it doesn't feel happy. It doesn't feel connected and joyful. So here's your challenge for today. I want you to find something that you can sit on that makes you feel safe, that makes you comfortable, makes you feel connected. You can do it with a pillow on the ground if your weather is warm. You can do it inside. You know what I do? I'm doing it right now. I sit on the heating vents of my house. So when I do these live streams, I want to feel more grounded. And because I can't go outside because it's cold, what I do is I turn up my heat to a couple more degrees than it's supposed to be, and I sit on my heat registers. And by sitting on my heat registers, it blows warm air on my butt, and it blows warm air in that chakra, on that part of my body. And it gives it a sense of comfort and wisdom and understanding and safety and security. There are dozens upon dozens of ways that you can get your grounded, get that lower chakra to feel connected, to feel alive and stimulated. You don't have to, go to some goofy person or some person that's going to do some metaphysical thing to make you feel grounded. It's about stimulating those nerve endings that are down there. And have you ever had anybody also rub kind of like the top of your butt cheeks? Not with a lot of effort, or a lot of work, but just to gently feel connected. Whenever that happens, I think of a baby, who's laying on their tummy in all of those pictures, and having somebody just gently patting their butt. It's something that we're attracted to, we're connected to. You sit on a sheepskin. That's another great way to do that. Something to stimulate that and give it a sense of security and care and love. If it's something silly like, a bidet that you get, or really good toilet paper, something soft, or, a comfortable pillow where the texture feels great. All of those things are wonderful ways, good morning, Bee, wonderful ways to get connected and feel grounded. Good morning, Mark, because when you stimulate in a pleasant way, good morning, Yulia, that chakra that makes you feel grounded, that lower one, that root chakra, when you do that, you will automatically start to feel more comfortable. You will start to feel more together, less crazy, because you're taking your focus out of someplace else, whether it be your heart or, your third eye or your, any of your other chakras. You're taking it out of there, and temporarily you're bringing it down to the place that makes you feel safe, makes you feel okay. So if you want to feel more grounded, do more things and have more experiences, good morning, Bonnie, where you connect to that root chakra. And when you do, you'll be able to do things like these live streams too. You'll be able to go on and do the things that make you more nervous, because it keeps stimulating that in a way that feels good, in a way that makes you want to hang out there, that makes you want to enjoy your root chakra. So if you have to do something scary, wear really good underwear. If you something that feels great. If you have to do, good morning, Michelle, if you have to do something that challenges you, or where you need to stay very present to what's going on because everybody around you's chaotic, or, it's the holidays, or, Christmas is coming and your relatives make you nutty. Do something. Get the good toilet paper. Get the great underwear. Good morning, Shalita. Sit on the heat register. Do anything that stimulates that, and you will automatically start to feel better. So now we're going to move up to the sacral chakra, which is associated with, passion, creativity, sex, sexuality. It's that fire in your gut. Now, a lot of us, because of the culture we live in, we were taught to shut a lot of those things down, to not feel those things. And because of our diet, honestly, because of our diet and processed foods and the fact that our intestines aren't in a good place, aren't healthy, don't have enough good bacteria in there, that cuts us off from our passions. That cuts us off from our creativity. Because when we're uncomfortable with a place in our body, then we tend to avoid it, because we don't want to be uncomfortable, and we go someplace where we feel comfortable. We go to a different chakra, we go to a different part of our body where it doesn't bother us, where we can ignore it for a while. But when you start to clean things up, when you start to work on the physical parts of your body where the chakras are, that's what cleans them up. That's what opens them up and wakes them up and excites them. So sacral chakra is about that creativity, that passion, that joy, that love, that spark, that life. And so how do you reawaken that if you've cut it off? Either because of experiences you've had in your life, or you've had to cut it off because you've had someplace else you needed to be in your head, something like that. If you've cut off your creativity, if you've cut off or mucked up or dirtied up your sacral chakra, then we need to get connected to it in a positive way, because your mind body doesn't know the difference between something that you imagine and something that actually happens. And it also remembers only the last time we remembered something. It doesn't remember when something originally happened. So if you start giving yourself positive experiences around your sacral chakra, positive, pleasurable, lovely, wonderful experiences around there, and they don't have to be sexual. They can just be sensual. If you start giving yourself those experiences, you'll start to wake up that spark and that passion, that joy and that love. So one of the first things you need to do is get your digestion in order. Oh my gosh. If you can start doing prebiotics and regular biotics, good morning, Daniel. If you can start eating, getting the fiber in your system and foods that make your intestines and all of that stuff work, when they start feeling better, when they start feeling good, you can start connecting to your creativity. You can start connecting to that joy and that passion and that sensuality that life brings. I didn't understand how good life could feel until I started to wake up that chakra. When I started to connect with it and love it and like it and enjoy it in other ways, when I started to bring it back online to the rest of my body, that's when my life really skyrocketed. So other people would say it's kind of like also where your kundalini is, where that snake at the base of your spine lives, and that's that sense of passion and joy and loving life to the fullest, to a level you never even expected. So getting that cleaned up, honestly, getting your digestion cleaned up where it's not so uncomfortable will bring your passion and your spark back. So there's other ways you can do that, because the sacral chakra is where we tend to hold our sense of anxiety and vulnerability. And so it can be really scary to start to connect to that part of ourselves, because now we have to allow ourselves to be open and vulnerable and feel like people are looking at us and feel like people might be judging us. That's where we feel that tightening up of the gut, that anxiety. When we're under fight or flight, our digestion shuts down. For some people, it means that they eat more. Good morning, Bijal. For some people, it means they eat more because they're trying to distract themselves from how their abdomen and digestion feels. For some people, it's so tight and so uncomfortable that they can't eat at all. So we're so attached to fight or flight and our digestion system that it's directly connected. It shuts down and we can't digest anything when we're fight and flight because it all goes to other parts of our body. So one of the things we need to do is get out of that fight or flight pattern if we want to have that joy and that passion and that amazement and sensuality in life. And so we have to start being comfortable with being vulnerable. So how do you do that? How do you be comfortable with being vulnerable? You start to experiment. You start to play with it. You start to do things, small things, tiny things that make you feel a little bit vulnerable, and then you learn how to navigate it. Okay, Bonnie, yeah, your digestion is shut down for a week at a time. Yeah, that can really get in the way of creativity and feeling alive when your digestion is shut down. So find ways to sort that out. And a lot of that, as I said, is getting out of fight or flight. And you do that by retraining yourself. You do that by having enough guts. Where did that come from, huh? Guts. Having enough guts to take those tiny steps and try things which are out of your comfort zone. And it doesn't have to be in the big things. Don't wait for the big things in life to knock you on your butt so that you get grounded, right? To knock you on your butt so you can feel regrounded again, so that you can attempt something different. Ground yourself first and then take a little bit of a risk. It could be a risk of doing, a live stream. It could be a risk of wearing something you normally wouldn't wear, a color you wouldn't wear, or doing your hair differently, or wearing a different shade of lipstick, or, I'm blinking my eyes because I'm wearing magnetic eyelashes. Taking small little risks, especially ones that you're pretty confident you'll be successful at, that's how we get comfortable with our digestive system. That's how we're able to stop locking it down so much, because that's the core of our vulnerability. That's the core of us feeling like we're out of control in life. Now, what happens is when we feel out of control, we hide. We hide in our head, we hide in our throat, we hide in our heart, we hide in our third eye. We hide someplace, we hide out there. We hide someplace else because we're so uncomfortable. And unfortunately, that means that we feel less grounded, because our core, our sacral chakra, is getting in the way of feeling grounded. So the nice thing is you can work on your sacral chakra from above, coming down chakra by chakra, or you can work on it from below. You're probably above already, and so you'll have to bring that focus down piece by piece, until you get there. Or, as I said, you can work on your root chakra, and you can stimulate that and make that comfortable, make that feel safe, and then move the energy up. Now, you don't have to plow through it. You don't have to punch through this stuff in working through your sacral chakra. You don't have to bulldoze it. You can do it, as I said, in those tiny little experiments of being a mouse that sneaks out of a closet and then runs back in the closet, and then sneaks out again the next day and then runs back in, sneaks out again the next day and runs back in. You have to start reconnecting and bringing this stuff online, because the more comfortable you get with it, the more comfortable you get with the idea of vulnerability, the easier it is to navigate, the easier it is to understand and figure it out, and try something that's bigger, and then the next thing that's bigger, and the next thing that's bigger, until you can finally feel comfortable to deal with the big giant elephants that have been in the room of your life, probably since you were a kid. You're able to start taking those little bites out of it, piece by piece, until you look at it and you say, hey, I got this. It's a learning experience. And you get to learn at the pace that you feel most comfortable at. And one of the ways that I do it, that I keep myself on track, is I purposely set myself up for situations which will challenge me. I'll set myself a goal. I'll hold myself accountable. Let's say these live streams. I come on these live streams and there's people on the other end. And there's people who talk to me and tell me that they look forward to me and that they miss me when I'm gone. Now I'm accountable. So whether I, really want to do these or not, and they're fun, I like doing them, I now have people who want me there, and that pulls me forward. And then I say, okay, if I'm going to do these, how am I going to make myself as comfortable as possible? So as I said before, I sit on my heating register. I wear things that make me feel good. Behind my back, I have one of my favorite pillows. It's not just super overstuffed. It's also one that I got by this random check that came in the mail from a car that I bought, like 10 years earlier. So this pillow behind my back has a lot of positive memories associated with it. And it's in my favorite color, in a healing color, which is this rich forest green. I'll show it to you. This is my favorite pillow. So what do? I put it behind my back. And what do? I put myself in front of my favorite comfortable view next to the curtains that my mom helped me sew. This is how you work on these things. You make yourself as comfortable as possible, and then, let me turn there we go. And then you, piece by piece, get more comfortable with that part of yourself. So don't look at it as a sprint. Look at it as a marathon. And let me tell you, when you can get these two, your groundedness and your sacral chakras, when you can get comfortable with them, when you can get them to open up, they aren't just, negative, uncomfortable things. They also, on the opposite end, bring you so much pleasure and so much joy and so much passion for life and creativity, because that is a lot of nerve endings down there. You've got thousands upon thousands of nerve endings down in those two chakras. And for you to only experience the pain and not experience the pleasure, you're only living half of a life. You're only living a small part of the life that you could be living, because it's not about the experience you have out there in the world. It's about the experience you have in here, inside of yourself, being comfortable with yourself, enjoying what your body has to bring. So your homework, let's say, for this afternoon, sometime today, is to do something pleasurable for those two chakras. As I said, if you have to go out to the grocery store and buy really great toilet paper that's extremely soft and, Tux or whatever the hell you got to do, who cares? It's your body. It's your business. You get to do it. Or maybe you go get a great pair of underwear that feels good, or you let yourself sit on your favorite pillow. Something along those lines. Good morning, Charlene. Let yourself do that, and you will start to feel safer. You will start to feel more comfortable because you'll feel grounded. And then I want you to work on your sacral chakra. I want you to do something positive for it that will make it feel better. You can do it externally, like making sure you take your probiotic, making sure you take your prebiotic, making sure you eat something, that has great fiber in it, or is organic or non-GMO, or, whatever you want. Get something that your digestive system will like not as in ice cream, because it will like ice cream. Don't get me wrong. It does like ice cream, because when the milk protein hits the digestive system, it gives us a beta endorphin release. But for a lot of us, the dairy bugs us. And so go for the longer term feel good, which would be beans, quinoa, wild rice, something that stimulates and makes that part of us feel good. Unless you deal with something like Crohn's, then, do something that's less challenging, that's less difficult on the system. But do something that's going to make it feel good, because that will start to get us reconnected and bring it back online, and make sure, if you aren't already, and I know a lot of you are, drink your water too, especially in the morning or a half hour before you eat, because that stimulates our digestive system too. That gives it a happy, healthy experience. Then it's not working too hard. So do something nice for your digestive system, as well as if it's your belief systems, if it's the stress that locks you up, do some good energy work on that. Now, how do you do that? Energy work is, energy is everything. Energy isn't just something metaphysical out there. Energy is also the physical. So if you want to do positive energy work on your sacral chakra, gently rest your hands on your chakra, on your sacrum, and let them relax there while you're in a positive state of mind. Maybe you're listening to music or smelling an essential oil that you love, or the lights are dim, or it's really great fabric that you're wearing. Give that chakra a positive, pleasurable experience of connectedness and love and care and value and gratitude. Even if it doesn't feel so good, try, because it's uncomfortable because your digestion's off. Still, send caring there. Touch it. Welcome it home. Bring it back into your system. Bring it back into your life, into your psyche, into your body. There is no bad and there is no good when it comes to emotions or felt senses. If we can look at everything as in they're welcome. There's a poem by Rumi, and it's about how every emotion is welcome into the house. So even if you feel uncomfortable, welcome that part of your body. Welcome it by thanking it for being there and for being such an important part of your life. And when you do that, when you give that energy work, that love and that care, wherever you focus is where your body sends blood, lymph, nervous system signals, and it'll also start to give it a positive association, a positive acceptance. You don't have to block it off from your life and your existence anymore. So give it some energy work today. Give it some healthy, quinoa or beans or kefir or, anything like that. Give it something that's good for it, that'll make it feel good. And you will start to feel better. Your life will move in the direction you want it to move in, which is towards feeling whole and being whole and enjoying your life. So those are the bottom 2 chakras. I have a ball with them. I have so much fun with them. It's not even funny because I love to feel things. And so if you've blocked them off, you're missing. But you can bring it back online. You're welcome, Ro. You can bring that stuff back online. You just have to take it in the small steps and not make it something super crazy. Not, make it something out of control. So leave comments, ask questions, leave thoughts, ideas, beliefs, topic ideas. Tomorrow we're going to work then on the chakra that's right underneath your diaphragm, and we're going to work on your heart chakra. We're going to work on those 2 tomorrow, and ways that we can bring those back online, and how they affect our psyche, and how they affect how we interact with the world. So if you want to keep up on these, go to inspiremassage.com, sign up for the emails. I try to send out the live streams daily. I'm about a week behind, so that people will get last week's if you didn't get them. I'm also on YouTube and all that other stuff. So if you subscribe, you can stay a part of the tribe and stay on the track that you want to be on. Thanks for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.